is dying. It's
Right.
like you got to have some mobility.
Exactly.
Yeah, when you got defensive tackles that run 4-5, you can't just sit there in the pocket like that. Those Tom Brady's and Peyton Manning's, that's a dying breed, man. You're not gonna find them no more.
You see what the big boy from UGA ran? What he ran, like a 4.7, 4.8?
4.7 at 341
That's,
pounds.
bro.
Yeah.
What?
You only getting that for 3 plays though. So
Oh, that's true, 100%. But Matt Ryan sacks.
It's just the fact that he can do it though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like he not gonna get free every play to run that fast.
Yeah.
But if he have to chase you, he might catch you. That's great.
Catch that Ryan ass.
Oh, he can catch me. I'm too. I remember last time. Matter of fact, speaking of that, when was the last time y'all ran full speed?
Shit. 2008.
Korea, 2000.
Going back to my staff,
14.
2012.
All right, Robin, if you was to run full speed right now, what would happen?
I pull something.
Yeah.
I'd be in the hospital.
Physical therapy for a month.
I need to
get my VA claim ready.
Yeah.
Get that percentage up.
Get that percentage up.
I already need a back transplant.
All right, so what's good, everybody? This is your boy Hood, and this is the V.N.T, aka Various Negroes Talking. And as you're looking at the screen right now, I have various Negroes in here. So we're going to introduce ourselves. So starting from, whatever way this is going, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What up? My name Lawrence Robinson. Holding it down in Hampton Roads, chilling. Known Hood for a little bit. Actually, since tech school.
Yeah, we old. Thank you for coming on the podcast, bro. All right, Darius, you up?
Yeah, I'm Darius. I live in Mascouda, about 15 minutes from St. Louis.
Gang.
Yeah, so I think I just met Hood on Facebook. So talk some shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Dre, what's up?
Yo, what up? It's Dre Scott, repping North Carolina, but stationed out here in VA. That's about it right now. I'm excited to be here.
Ready? Let's go.
Hey, Tommy, Reddy, Rudy. I go by a lot of names. Matt Hood and Kunsan, Wolfpack. Did some fucked up shit there. But now I'm in Oklahoma City. So
y'all out there together.
Not really.
Nah.
I'm in Enid, Oklahoma. It's like we have a Walmart.
What you at, Tinker?
No.
Yeah, I love that cup.
Okay.
That cup, dope.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I used to bring this to work and I got in trouble.
I bet that's good. That's a white ass cup to be having. What's up, Tony? Appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Oh yeah, that's my homegirl Tony. She came up with the logo or whatever. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. All right, guys. So okay. Ready? What your cup say?
Cup says, I'm a fucking professional.
That's nice. Ain't no way in the hell you was taking that shit to work, was you?
I did that shit to work.
Where was you working at when you did that?
At Tinker. Like chief customer service.
Damn.
You had it in customer service?
Yeah, dead ass.
You were wild.
I'll allow it. That's dope. What they gonna do? Fire you?
Exactly. I've been asking to be fired. Like,
that's the ready system.
Oh man, you still got the ready system?
Yeah, I'm getting older, man. I drink all day, but then I sleep all night. I don't party anymore. So,
At least you can party. Do you know my idea of partying is here in Oklahoma?
Walmart.
Hmm?
Y'all sitting in the field or some shit?
Walmart.
They still got that. I remember we used to drive up from Shepherd to go up there, man. They used to have this little ratchet strip club that all the airmen used to go to called Dragon's West or something like that. I don't even know if that's still there.
In Oklahoma?
Yep.
In Enid?
I believe so.
You're talking about Enid?
Yeah.
Ain't no strip club here. It's just, I'm not even going to say what I'm about to say because that's going to be hell of a asking to be fired. They can't fire us. We're on the contract. But Let's move us to different sections.
We can't quit either, though. So
we're gonna get this thing going, man. We got 10 people in here. Thank y'all for watching. Share, click, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I don't know what you're subscribing to because I ain't live on YouTube or whatever. All right, y'all. So I got a couple questions for y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna require y'all to ask you, like, think. You know, I'm not gonna ask you what's your favorite shoe. I'm not gonna ask you your top 5 anything. We're just gonna have real conversations and everything. All right. So the first question, as a man, how can you tell when you're off? Like, yo, today is not a good day. I'm really not feeling this shit. Like, whether that's mentally, physically, or emotionally, or socially even. How can you tell when you're off?
My wife can usually tell if I'm off. Been married almost 14 years now. She can tell, and she started asking probing questions like, "What's wrong with you? Did you get enough sleep?" All the other questions that wives ask when they're trying to get to the bottom of stuff.
So do you find yourself sometimes, you know, not being able to like respond? Because, you know, sometimes as men, like, you can ask us what's wrong. We'll just be like, well, I'm straight, I'm all right, and you just keep trucking, or you just like kind of like power through it.
Like, I can respond, but then it's like you still have to use some restraint in the response, because if she the reason I'm off, I can't. It's hard to say. But so you just kind of BS a little bit, give her a little something, and I mean, I got a good wife, so she'll try to fix whatever it is I say in terms of little symptoms, unless I say it's her. Then that's a different conversation. But
all right, Dez.
That's true. I mean, it's the same for me. It's like, honestly, bro, like, you just feel it though. Like I feel it in my chest. Like, I just got a heavy chest or whatever. And so my wife would be asking what's wrong or whatnot. And usually I'm just chilling, you know, knowing damn well I ain't chilling. Mad as hell on the inside, but you just kind of deal with it a little bit. So
yeah, Drake.
For me, man, I think everything's hard. Like, getting up is hard, getting out the house, getting dressed to go to work. Everything's hard. I don't want to deal with people. Like, it's just like, you off and you in a mood, and it's not like that you're mad at anybody in particular, but it's just the things that typically come easy don't come as easy as they usually do.
Okay. All right, we got a late Negro, as I like to call him.
Okay, first of all, I'm up
Change.
and I'm working hard.
Thank you for getting in here.
Yeah.
Did you get your finger fixed, man?
Bro, you stay injured. You're the most injured dude I've met in my entire life, bro. You were always on the IR.
That whole time in Korea, you was limping.
Yo, I'm saying this is my first injury in like 2 years, dog. I've been on a healthy streak, you know. And I went out and, you know, was trying to hoop. We had basketball season start up again. I forgot I was in my mid-30s. Hey, hit Young Buck with a nicer move. Pat. He had backup though.
Oh, so basically you was on a treadmill. Basically, you was doing like you weren't going nowhere.
No, I got past him. I was in the air, baby. Reverse, but it was a big ass dude waiting on me. Big ass dude. So yeah, sit my old ass down somewhere.
All right, so go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Since you late.
All right. So I know Dre, I know Lauren, but yeah. So Vaughn, I was at a Kunsan with old nappy head man up here.
Man, how you gonna insult me in my own anyway?
No, I mean nappy ain't even insult no more. That's like the norm now. Everybody think that's cool.
So I'm normally nappy. That's what you.
Yeah. I'm the one still struggling with waves, dog.
At least you ain't bald.
Well, I'm on the way, dog. You look back there.
Look, Lauren's like, yeah.
I gotta keep my head up. Hey. You can't see it.
Hey, I got you, bro.
I had to let it go, bro.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna hang on.
We're gonna keep it going, Tommy.
Yeah.
Same question, bro. As a man, how can you tell sometimes when you're feeling off? You know, whether it's physically, emotionally, or like socially, and what do you do typically?
So yeah, emotionally and socially, I'd struggle with that one because if I'm at work, I don't know if I'm off until somebody come and say, "Hey, what the fuck's going on with you?" Because I try to at work be upbeat, open, available to people. But if I'm shut down because I'm trying to fucking, I don't know, pump out some awards or do something that I'm trying to focus in, and it's bothering me, but I don't let myself know it's bothering me until someone comes up and says, "Hey, you all right?" And then I gotta think, like, am I doing something that's not me? Am I off? So I need someone else to come and tell me that something's different at work. At home, when I don't feel like just doing nothing, not playing video games, not having a little sip, like that's when I know something's off. And how I get back on track is I stop and I read. And that's usually my go-to when I'm off work is I read and I get myself back into myself by opening up a book or listening to a book and reading. So
the process y'all need to, get back to feeling like yourselves. Like, how long does that typically take y'all? Because I know for me personally, it normally takes me like, it all depends on why I'm off sometimes. Sometimes it's just basically life going on. Might take me a couple of weeks, might take me a couple days, might even take me like a few hours. Like, what do y'all do typically? How do you know when you're feeling good again?
So for me, last time I had my last off, I had to go see behavioral health because I found out what imposter syndrome was, and I didn't know what it was before then. Because I came to a new unit, and I noticed how people were treating me, and I was maybe one of 3 people that looked like me in a position to voice opinions. And when I say things, I look at how other people are responding to me. So I had a situation where I had another guy that said something similar to what I said. And they automatically jumped to what he said, even though I said what I said first. And I'm just sitting there thinking like, man, does this dude got that rapport? Does he have that relationship with these people that they just default listen to him no matter what he says? Or is it something with me? So I start questioning, okay, you got a fucking problem because I'm black.
Right.
Like, I don't like to automatically jump to that because I'm thinking, okay, everybody's a person. Everybody has their own whatever. But in our group, I hope that we can get past that black distrust bullshit that happens.
Right.
I couldn't get past it. I couldn't figure out why these people wouldn't listen to me. And it fucking drove me insane until I had to go see a fucking doctor about it and talk and have a conversation. And I'm just now, that was in November. I'm just now getting back to the point where I'm just like, hey, this dude don't want to hear what the fuck I got to say. Tough shit. I know I'm right. I know if he want to pass go, he's going to have to come through me.
What is imposter syndrome?
So the way it boiled down to me is you feel like you got this position, this title, this job, this whatever it is, because you were a token. You didn't really qualify. You don't belong. You feel like an imposter in this position.
Okay.
And you're surrounded by people that don't look like you.
Got you.
You start questioning yourself. It's kind of a little bit like Stockholm, maybe a little bit.
Okay.
But that's what I had to learn about it too, because I had no clue. Like
it's my first time hearing about it. So
speaking of imposters, we got my homeboy Nico joining us in the chat. I guess he watched the game interview, and he's been watching AB, Kanye. He's feeling inspired. So he feels really inspired right now. Welcome to the chat, Nico. Brother.
Yo, what's good, y'all?
I appreciate you. Introduce yourself, brother. Just I know you hide shit, but go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Yo, it's my name's Nico Lamar. Y'all can call me Nick Tropicana. Sometimes I go by Himothy. What's going on?
Himothy. Damn, I'm damn. I'm mad I didn't think about that one. But anyway, all right, brother. So you late. I'm gonna ask you, how do you know when you're feeling off? Because clearly you're off right now. Like, what's going on?
I mean, to be honest, man, you just got to be in touch with yourself. I mean, people might think I'm crazy right now. Like, nobody really cared who I was until I put on the mask. You know what I'm saying?
All right, that's what's up. Cool. You gonna play next season? What's going on?
Call God.
Call God. All right. All right, y'all. We're gonna move on to our second question. As men, we grow up with a certain mindset, different things, whatever. But then you get hit with some, like dealing with people in life, you realize you're insecure about things. Do you recognize your own insecurities?
Easily.
You
right?
Want to go in?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 5'7", so like I automatically know, like I'm short. That's a top insecurity shit. I'm a little dude.
I'm 6'1". I don't really.
That's what I'm saying.
So I think the issue is not that I didn't recognize. Like I think from the time I was a kid, I knew my insecurities. It's being able to openly and honestly admit my insecurities. It was a big thing. So I always knew, I was insecure about certain things, but just being able to talk about it and be honest and just be like, yeah, this is something that I'm uncomfortable with about me was something that took me a while to get to. But yeah.
Vaughn?
It took me losing a whole lot for me to be able to identify my own insecurities, because growing up, I always had a squad, whether it be like basketball, football, band, something, and never really thought about it until met my wife, got married, had to dial back on a lot of stuff, and I didn't have that squad to lean on. Wife is supposed that was it. Okay, you wifey, dropping all this other stuff, and I struggle with that. And I realized like I don't really like just being like one other person. I gotta go to this one person for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I did some stuff to mess up the trust, but then it just broke down everything for me, dude. Where I was insecure about only having, I got this one person in my life, that was like low key trying to push everybody else out. And I realized like I don't like being by myself. And at one point, that's how I felt. Even with my wife, I felt like I was by myself. But that led to a whole nother plethora of problems. So that was
Tom,
my.
Yeah, Tom, you got?
Yeah. On that topic, growing up, I got over the big nose shit real quick. Like I got over being 5'6" real quick because I don't know. It didn't mean anything to me after I got turned down by X number of girls. So I'm like, fuck it. It is what it is. I can't change it. Fuck it. Right now at this age though, my insecurities are in here a lot. And I heard some shit from Killer Mike. I don't know if you guys follow him. He has this concept called where's that? Kill your masters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the concept of slavery being, sugar. I eat candy all fucking day. Am I dependent on eating candy to get that next fix? Caffeine. I drink coffee every morning. I feel like I need it. I'm depending on it. Cell phone. Is this a master of yours? So for me, my insecurity became my masters, and I had to figure out how to start killing them and getting away from these things that control me. Because at a certain point, I worried about fitting in with people. And I was sacrificing myself, like who I was, just to fit in with some people that may or may not have given a fuck about me. They were there for a time. I'm trying to fit in with them. And that was a big insecurity of mine. And I fit into whatever horse shit they were doing and wasn't focusing on me. But right now, one of my insecurities, one I'm trying to fix in me is I don't know what a man is. Growing up, being raised by a single mother, dad wasn't always around. I didn't meet a lot of my siblings until I was 13.
Mm-hmm.
Dudes that were the older men that were in my life were from the streets. I didn't have anyone to show me how to change tires, what these different wrenches were, how to do typical man shit. And a lot of what I was told a man was by women. My mom said some gangsta ass shit to me. She said a woman can't teach a man how to be a man. And to this day, that shit sticks with me. Like, so I'm thinking like now, okay, I hear a lot of toxic shit, mostly on the internet, about being a man. A real man wouldn't do X, Y, and Z. But what the fuck is a man? So now I'm trying to figure out what being a man to me means. So I can say, okay, I'm being a man. Is that paying my own bills? I got my own thing set up. I'm I'm providing for people that I need to provide for. Is that what being? I'm trying to figure that part out. So that's one of the insecurities right now that I'm trying to work through at least.
Okay. All right. So we got another guest that's joining us. The homie Derek just popped in here. What's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
What's good, gentlemen? What's good? Yeah, had a little.
Just do a little quick introduction. That's it.
So Derek White, been in the military, going on 19 years. Air Force. I'm stationed here at Nellis Air Force Base, Las Vegas. So that's just a little bit about me. Firefighter in the Air Force.
So I'm gonna ask you and Nico 2 questions. I know y'all just late. Well, Nico, you already asked one about do you feel off. So back to you, D. As a man, how can you tell sometimes when you're feeling off, whether that's mentally, physically, or emotionally, or socially, and how do you go about, you know what I'm saying, getting back right? I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you.
So the question is, how can I tell when I'm off?
Yeah.
I feel like I have like these certain things that I do like on a day-to-day basis. And when I feel like my routine is completely off and affected, that's when I know that something is not connected, whether it be spiritually, emotionally, or mentally. I feel like if you develop those type of routine habits that can kind of quickly alert you to know when something is completely off or something has changed. But I think that the second part to that is how do I go back to fixing that or checking it or correcting it? I have like a close circle, like we talk on a regular basis. We have like our little group chat and everything like that. And I feel like that's like my trust circle. Like I can go in there and I can confide to them. I use this as a prime example. So I did V.N.T. I was an MTI for 4 years, right? Mm-hmm. And it was, I would say, like the first 2 years that I was down there, like the whole sex drive was just complete zero. I don't know if it was like something in the water or whatever the case may be, but I just didn't have that desire to do anything. And I was dating somebody at the time, and she was like very upset. She was like, she honestly felt like I was cheating. She was like, do you not feel attracted to me? Do you not want something from me? And I was like, no, this is just me. I'm going through something right now. And I don't know how to explain it. So I hit up the homies and I was like, hey, yo, like, is this shit normal? Like for us to go through, like as men at some point in our life? And they was like, yeah, man, I go through that shit. I've been through that shit a couple of times. So I'm sorry. Are we allowed to cuss?
Yeah, you good.
Oh, shit. All right, fuck. But I was asking them like, yo, is this normal? And they was like, yeah, like we as men experience that. And I don't think most women understand that or realize that. So I had to try to convey that to her, and they provided me some type of counsel and advice like how to go about doing it. But it still didn't end up working out in the long run. So like I usually talk to the homies, or I'll find something to kind of like get myself back on track. Whether it's like checking out some of y'all crazy posts and stuff like that, catching a laugh here and there. But I think we all go through some of the same stuff. So it's important to us to have that circle that way we can reach out to one another and be able to talk about those things.
Got you. So appreciate you, bro, for joining. We're going to try to keep this thing moving. Did anybody who didn't get to talk about the insecurity question, about insecurities that we battle constantly throughout the day, just as men? Rob? All right, so we're gonna move on to our next question. All right, so most of us being in the Air Force, you know what I'm saying, the Air Force is real small. Like no matter where we go, somebody know us or know of us one way or the other. Have you ever found yourself just either in work profession or just in life having to go about proving wrong the misconceptions that people have of you? Like, yo, he's this way, or he's that way. And how exhausting is that process for you sometimes? So Nico, you want to jump in on that first?
Yeah. I've been to like 9 bases, and it got to a point where it took me right in that middle place, like to like outrun like this misconception of yourself. Like you go to a new base, it's supposed to be a chance to like start anew, but most people don't get that opportunity. It's like, because like you said, the Air Force is small, so you leave here, the longer you stay in, the less degrees of separation you get in between you. And that goes for your leadership, people you work with. Like, hey, like is 1% of chiefs. So of course, if you go somewhere, another chief, they didn't met at some point. So it's like before you even get somewhere, somebody already have a, a, a misconception about you. Like, so I just know when I got to my last base in Eglin, like one of my chiefs was like, oh man, you was nothing like XYZ said, you know? And I was like, what do you mean? And this guy, he was talking to a guy that hadn't seen me since I was like a senior airman. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
That's like 10 years ago. And you talking to a person about something that you did 10 years ago. And the worst thing I feel like you could do to somebody is somebody is doing the work on themselves and you don't see that person or not being seen for who you are, but who you were, man. And it just kind of like set me up on like a slippery slope from the first 3 or 4 months of me getting to this unit. Like I'm trying to outrun a shadow that don't even exist in me anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So as black men in the military, you find it's a little bit harder for us sometimes to actually, try to go just battle the misconceptions that people have about us. Just in general. So Dre.
I think so. I think sometimes I have to walk into organizations and I feel like I got to prove myself. I got to work harder. I got to do things that I don't think opportunities aren't always afforded the same way, right? So that's something that I've noticed. And when I first came in, I was a crew chief. I was maintenance, so it was a handful of black people, period, that I would see. So automatically, they thought all of us hung out. We all kicked it. We all this like, oh, y'all all kick it. I was like, nah, we don't all fuck with each other. It's not like that. But they had that misconception that that's what we were and that's what we do. So now, further on as I get as a senior NCO, I do the same thing. But now what I have learned is I used to be Sergeant Scott at work, and then I'd be Dre when I'm off work. And having those two different identities was draining. And that's something that affected my family life, that affected me, that affected everything. So eventually I learned how to really, really just be myself and just accept me for who I am. I know my job, I know my worth, I know who I am. Y'all gonna need me before I need you, more likely. So I moved on and got to that point.
All right, so Darius, like, what are some of the things you go through basically with the misconception?
Honestly, bro, I can't speak too much on it because I ain't in the military no more. So,
right. But just in general, even in the civilian world, there's probably misconceptions about you that you be like, damn, like I'm really not like that at all. But all right,
bro, it's never. I mean, I don't know if I just don't pay attention or whatever, but it's just never like came to me. Like, they say you're like this, but you're really like this. No one's ever said anything to me for me to actually think about it.
Got you. So, Vaughn?
Man, so many different levels of misconceptions on me, though. Starting off military side, I went through a little rebellious airman stage. You come in, do some dumb stuff, and PCS, it stick with you. And like my man was saying, like you go to your next base, people talk. You already know, like you get there, then already call back, hey, ask the shirt, hey, how is he? How's he work? What's he do? So I walked into Florida and I already got this thing of like, yeah, Colonel Chamberlain, he went through some struggles and just not too sure about his character and all this stuff. And I'm coming off the loss of my daughter. Start a whole new chapter, new leadership, and I met this math sergeant, black lady, who told me she'd already heard a bunch of stuff about me, but she ain't trying to hear it. She's gonna let me, show her who I am. So she gave me that fresh slate that you don't get very often. I've been to quite a few bases, and you don't get that, especially having another black person in that leadership role to look at me and like, okay, show me what you got. So I came in, first 2 years, did my thing, got the top scratch, got E6, did all this, and they're like, oh man, Son Chambers, I never would have thought. And I'm like, I know my job and I do it well. Like I'm not in here just to come in, kick it, go home. So I'm trying to show like, hey, I can make it as a black dude. All these stipulations and all this other stuff that are said about a lot of black men, especially medical. You see everybody got shaving wave. You see, yeah, I got shaving. Might be a lot of control right now, but everybody they're like, oh, you got somebody just don't want to shave. Like I legitimately bump up bad. I'm pharmacy. I done tried multiple meds. Mm-hmm. It still happened. And it even outside of work, I literally drove right off base, went to get some gas, drive a Cadillac. The man stepped up to me, thought I was a D-boy. I'm like, bro, I ain't got no crack on me, dog. My bad. Look at you see, black dude, blacked out car. Yeah, drug dealer. Sorry, no. Got a prescription? I can help you at work.
Yeah. Derek, what you got?
I'll say that's a easy one to tackle. Been in this long in the game, like you said, my man said, it's like the longer you go in, the less likely for you to close that distance in between perception of who you are. I have two different personas now since I've been in, and that's the fire department me and then the MTI me. Because like soon as you come out of a DSD, everybody automatically assumes, oh, he's ate up or he's got like these holier than thou expectations and stuff like that. And it's like my expectations never really change. The one thing I'll say about us in the military, and everybody can probably attest to this, we all are great actors because we are our at work person and then our at home person. Like I joke with people and I tell everybody this, but it's like when I'm at work, I have to be a certain way because I know the at home me will probably whoop a lot of people's ass and get myself in trouble. That's just what it is. It's like everybody want to be a nigga, but don't want to be a nigga. But you try to be the best that you can be and personify that with your peers. But every so often, you got people that want to test you. So you try to like adjust and adapt to that. But I don't let what people say about me get to me because I know the quality of work that I'm gonna put out wherever I am is gonna overshadow anything that's ever said about me. I had one situation that when I had just put on staff, I was almost about to get kicked out the military, put a dude in the hospital, and it was self-defense, but at the time it was like, hey, it's a possibility that you're probably gonna get kicked out for this. I ended up getting an LOR, but my fire chief at the time was like, yeah, I'm gonna call ahead and let your next fire chief know what type of person he's getting. And I was like, all right, whatever. Little did he know, I already knew the fire chief that I was going to. And I had already gave him the heads up. It's like, hey, look, I was in this situation. This is what happened. I'll let you read the report. But he didn't care. He already knew what type of person I was from working with him in the past. And he didn't allow what somebody else had to say about me to negate what he already knew. So I think as long as you putting in the work, like Ron said, and you letting your work speak for itself, what people say about you, you can let that go to the wind.
Gotcha. All right, so we got another person joining us, my homeboy, Elite Boy K. You know what I'm saying? He just got home, gotten off work. So go ahead, introduce yourself, bro.
Hey, what's going on, man? My name is K. Mr. McCorkle, military type shit. But I'm out here originally from New York by way of North Carolina, Charlotte area. Out here in Vegas right now. Been in the military for 15 years now. So just here. I've been through a little bit of shit. So just listening to what you guys talking about, and then I put my input in when it comes around. But nice to meet everybody.
You and Derek actually at the same base, I think, Ashley. So,
yeah, we had the same one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You CE, right?
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think me and you crossed paths a couple of times. So next time I see you, I'll say so.
Probably see me on the blotter or something.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Kay. So I got some questions for you. Well, just about the misconceptions and stuff. Since you joined us, what's your opinion about the misconceptions that you typically have to find yourself? Just in general. Military no matter.
I feel like definitely in the military, man. You know, you get the big black guy type shit. That stigma. You know what I'm saying? So when you enter an environment, like if I talk too loud, they think like I'm coming off as rude. But if another person say the same shit I'm saying at the same tone, it's them passionate. You know what I mean? I think that's my thing. Then just being there as long as I've been in, I like my man said, Derek said, if you know your job, you're always good. You know what I mean? Like you know your job, you know your shit. They always be like, oh, that's a good person. But the one time, it's like so many things that happen when you make a mistake or some shit happen, they look at you a certain kind of way. You kind of trying to figure it out, and then you try to play the background, but then they always pull you to the front because you're the one that works. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I just always get the stigma of I'm angry or I'm pissed off. But the thing be like, I just don't like bullshit. You know what I mean? I don't like bullshit no matter what the rank is. And I ain't scared to say the shit either. So especially now, I tell you how I feel in this. I tell you to start the LOR before I even enter the office. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Like I'm at that point where I don't take no shit from nobody because I just don't give a fuck now. You know what I mean? But
I think everybody on this has reached that point.
Bruh.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Okay. Real talk. You might have heard something recently, but it was the exact same thing. So that last quarter, the fourth quarter, I called out a lot of people on some shit and they didn't like it. And like you said, like people automatically assume, oh, big angry black guy. But it's like, nah, you just passionate about what it is, and you calling people out on their shit, and people don't like it.
Yeah, like I call everybody on this shit. You know what I'm saying? Even if me, and that's the thing about me. If I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. I'm like, hey, I was incorrect on that. You know what I mean? Because I stand on my own. But when a motherfucker can't do that too, like I don't like it. I'll pull you to the side. I'm like, yo, like we just had this conversation yesterday. Why you acting like this is brand new to you? Like I don't like that. I don't like that shady stuff. And I don't care if you chief, master sergeant. I don't care who you are, major. I'll pull you to the side and have a conversation. Like to me, it's like you gotta be a man first. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, you gotta just respect them.
Yeah, treat me like a man first, and everything else comes second. So, like I'm gonna give a damn about that rank shit. You kiss my ass.
All right, Tommy. So I know me, Tommy, and Rob, we all worked together when we was in Coon side. We all had misconceptions about us. I know I had them. Everybody just thought I was like the quiet asshole. I'm really the loud asshole of like the group most of the time. So like, what are some misconceptions, Tommy, that you had to like deal with?
My whole career I've been single. Never married, no kids, nothing. So when I get to a new unit, it's either the race to figure out if I'm gay or if I'm gonna fuck every female in the squadron. That's usually the misconception I got to deal with.
That's a hell of a dynamic.
It got to the point where I'm like, okay, I can't have a door closed. I have a conversation with a female by myself. I gotta have somebody else in there at all times. I gotta be careful how I'm talking to person X versus person Y. But I know for a fact if I was married, had kids, and had that image of, I wouldn't have to deal with a lot of that shit. But those are the two things at every base that I've had to deal with.
So they treat you like a predator, nigga?
Yeah. Without saying it's like how they don't say nigga, but they say predator or criminal or
thug. Have any of y'all ever been like talking to like one of your homeboys, and then another homeboy walk up, and then you kind of like feel uncomfortable because three niggas mean trouble? You know what I'm saying? Like they'll be like,
oh, so you feel like it's like a Black Panther party or something?
Yeah.
They don't like us congregating. They don't like us congregating.
There goes trouble.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, hey, I joke when I say that, but whenever like I am having a conversation, it's like multiple brothers over there. I'm like, oh, hold on. Hey, come here real quick. We need one more white person in.
Nah.
We break this shit up. I don't want nobody thinking nothing bad.
Yeah,
But I say that jokingly, but I do know
That
that
shit ain't a joke though.
It's
like,
true.
because some
true.
people do feel
It's
threatened by
true.
it, and
Like
they shouldn't feel threatened, but some people are. You know.
I had to have that talk with my airmen. Like I was known as like I'm the cool NCO, so I get a couple of them come ask me for just casual, just hey, give me some advice on this, or hey, how you do this. Somebody else come in and listen, and then you look up and you got Sergeant Chamberlain over here kicking the shit with the two other black airmen, and I'm like, I got to make sure I make it obvious. I start pointing shit. See this right here? You want to press this button? I got to make it very obvious. This is a teaching moment. I'm not, bullshitting with the rest of the black people at work, and then everybody else. Sergeant Chamberlain be showing favoritism. He don't talk to us like that.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah, you good.
So I started this book called White Fragility, and chapter 2, the author says, you look at a young kid that's a minority versus a young kid that's white. That young kid that's a minority knows the concept of race almost from the beginning of memory. White kid, probably about age 7, depending on where they're born and raised, maybe age 13, 14, they understand that there's more than one race. So from jump, we have to be more conscious than almost anyone else of how we're moving, how we're talking, how we're gesturing, how we're coming across, because we know that somebody's looking to fuck with me.
Yeah.
Who it is, doesn't matter if I trust them or not. Somebody's looking to fuck with me. So
yeah. I think I've had to deal with that because I've always been like, hey, I kind of feel like I'm like they put me in customer service as like a guard dog for some reason. I actually feel like that. Just like, yo, I go Sergeant Hudson, he big. They probably scared of him if he come up pretty angry.
It's the visual. It's the visual.
I'm low key.
I got a question, and this kind of goes back to what Tommy was just saying. And I don't want to deviate from what you got. Your topic is a question, but I can say all of us probably at some point in our life, and even now in our career, has experienced either some form of racism or a mild form of it. Right? Can everybody agree? Okay. So I was having this conversation with one of my peers, and they was like, I just don't see it in the military. And I was like, you don't see it because you don't experience it. And then what you don't experience is you're going to be completely oblivious to it until I point it out. But at the same time, I feel like anytime that we point stuff out to people that are not of color, they're like, well, why are you pulling the black card? And I'm like, I'm not pulling the black card. I'm telling you that there are inadequacies in how we do things and how we conduct business. And it's not designed for us to excel in the military unless we have somebody that's lobbying for us to get to that point. But that's thoughts about that.
Yeah.
So I think you're on point. You're on point with that. Until the racial disparity study came out, that we didn't have anything to go off of, right? It was like, oh, you're just pulling the race card. But then they do a study and they're like, yeah, we was kind of racist in the Air Force for like 10 years. So, and we know it's been longer than that.
Still is,
right? And it's that people want to glaze by it, right? They want to just glance over it. Like, and I mean, you got to call a spade a spade. This happened. What are we doing to move forward? And it makes people uncomfortable. And that's why we get put in guard dog positions. That's why a lot of people fear us and think we're the angry black people. It's a lot. It's a catch-22. A lot of win or lose, whatever. But it's just, I don't see a good way out of it either way.
All right, so we're going to go on to our next question. That was a great topic, y'all. I appreciate y'all inputs on that one. All right, so we'll get more into relationships. So whether that's like friendships, relationship with women, or just in general, my question to the panel is, how many healthy relationships have you seen? Darius?
So,
Lawrence, you go.
Yeah, so I've seen like one. I was fortunate enough to be raised by my mom and pops, and I got to watch them interact, and it helped me out a lot. One of the biggest things that my dad always told me was that every good and perfect gift comes from God. I'm a preacher's kid. And so he was like, if God was going to bless a woman, could he bless her with you? And that's how I go about trying to treat your mama. And so that was something that I took with me, just being self-reflective in terms of fostering my relationship with my wife. And thank God I've been married almost 14 years. The other thing he taught me, he always liked to give me life lessons while I'm doing yard work and crap. But I'm out there like digging a ditch trying to plant a rose garden. He was like, son, your marriage is like this rose garden, man. You're gonna have to dig and put some fertilizer on it. The rose will grow up and it's gonna have thorns on it that'll stick you, and it'll take all this rain and stuff. But if you keep putting the work in, she'll always bloom. And that was just something that I kind of kept with me. And it was nice to go back this past December and watch my parents celebrate 41 years and be able to regurgitate that stuff back to my pop. So, I mean, I've had a healthy relationship. I mean, insecurity wise, man, sometimes I do wonder if I'm adequate enough to live up to like his standard and be a good dad to my 3 kids and be a good husband and all that stuff. But I did have a good example. That's it.
Yes. Darius.
So I ain't had no good examples. So I was born, raised by a single mother or whatever. So I didn't have a relationship with my dad. I had a stepdad, but we didn't get cool until after I moved out the house. So
how that work?
Wait, what?
That's crazy how that normally works.
Yeah, man. So I mean, we talked about it not too long ago. But even now, bro, like I struggle. So like I've been in marriage counseling probably since my first year of marriage, and I'm going on year 7. So the whole time I've been in counseling, and then just learning a little bit at a time or whatnot. So I'm fucking shit up. I don't want to lie, like totally fucking it up. But I learn from it or whatever. I'm willing to learn from it. So But yeah,
we all
I'm
be
at zero. Yeah. Just do different for my kids. Like I just want to do different for my kids. So I got 2. So
gotcha. Tommy,
my son won't say the same.
Yeah, Tommy, what about you? How many healthy relationships you seen?
I'm a little bit like Darius. I didn't know what a healthy relationship was until after I left Michigan, after 18. And I probably in my mid-20s when I found someone that I thought had a healthy relationship. And that's just me thinking they have a healthy relationship. These people talk to each other, they communicated, they fought. But it wasn't conflict management. It was conflict. Like you said some shit a couple weeks ago, conflict resolution, something like that.
I just be saying shit. I don't even remember.
Conflict. What's the point of the conflict? So people actually had conflict to resolve it. But up until then, raised by a single mother. Stepdad came in when I was like 16, wanted to put hands on me. Fell out with my mama for a long time. Didn't speak to her for years. Had a girlfriend. That didn't go well. Ran from the concept of a relationship because I thought I was so fucked up that I don't want to fuck up anybody else with my shit. Now that I'm older though and trying to work through this shit and like piece together, I'm like, okay, maybe I can try. I don't know. I still think I'm fucked up, but maybe I can try. I don't know. It's the worst that can happen. But I can only think of one relationship that I thought was healthy.
Dre?
Luckily, man, for me, I grew up in a 2-parent household. My parents are still together to this day, man, and I'm thankful for that, man, because I know it's not common in our community to have a 2-parent household with our parents together. So I learned a lot just watching them and my grandparents being there, both sets for a little while, So I got to see that, but I feel like for me, just learning how I'm supposed to treat a woman and learning how like you're supposed to be as a husband, a man, this, that, and the third. It's a lot of pressure, man. It's a lot of pressure, and it's hard to kind of live up to those expectations, especially in this day and age when a lot of people don't have those old school kind of traditional values, men and women both, so like You pull out a chair for somebody, open the door for somebody, they look at you like you crazy. You know, they're like, oh, you simp, you this, you that, all whatever words you gonna do. You know, you thirsty, you this, you can't call anybody beautiful, you can't say nothing to anybody. It's a different way of doing things now, right? And but I am.
If you from the South, that's a thing too. Like, you know, Southern people, they always call people like baby, sugar, sweetheart, like different stuff like that.
Sugarfoot.
That shit got me in so much trouble.
Yeah, it's fuck around be sexual harassment. Like, just
exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, I get it. Nico.
You know, I find myself still at 36, still pondering this question and still looking for this answer. I don't think there have been times where I thought I knew people that had healthy relationships, but it's almost like that veil of looking at somebody's relationship on Instagram. Like, you don't know what the fuck somebody's going through, you know? Like, you got church members and you think they all your life you think they healthy, or you got cousins that you think they got a healthy marriage. You find out like your cousin's been abused like for most of the marriage. And so I just feel like it's all about, you know, introspection and, you know, like finding out who you are, you know, and defining what's healthy to you. Because I can't look to somebody else's situation for, you know, for my guidelines, because I don't know everything about this story. So I just feel like for me, I find myself, even in my current relationship, still redefining what is healthy to me. You know, how am I being of service to the person I'm in this relationship with, you know? And trying to lean into that, because I find myself, you know, falling short and being petty and, you know, being insecure and shit. So I'm just constantly just trying to work to be the best that I could be, so I can present myself the best that I can to this situation, man. So I don't think to this day, I don't think I've seen a quote unquote healthy relationship. Like, define what that is, you know? Like,
I don't know.
Like people could be in a relationship. People could be in a relationship or a marriage, and they could be going to counseling, and on the outside looking in, you think, oh, they in counseling, you looking at them like they marriage is fucked up. But to them, they recognize like, hey, I'm not presenting myself to the situation the best that I can. So this means so much to me. Let's work on us so we can be the best that we can be for this relationship. I feel like that's healthy.
Yeah, so I was about to say that basically what Nico was saying. A healthy relationship is definitely a relationship of people just working, because it's like people who got fit bodies, they just don't walk around fit. You don't see them running, you don't see them in the gym, all that other stuff, man. I think Nico is spot on. Like, the healthy couple is the couple that's probably going to counseling, or the dude has an outlet of other good dudes that's trying to do right, that he can talk to, like, man, this woman getting on my nerves today. Just little stuff like I gotta take out the trash, or she let the dishes pile up all day for me to put away when I got off work. You know what I'm saying? She been all day. What the heck? That kind of stuff. Like, you got it. A healthy relationship is just people who are working constantly, who stay the course to continue to work. Usually when one or both of them stop trying to work at it, then that's when it's up, or some person feel like they working harder than the other one. That's when it starts getting unhealthy.
Question. What defines healthy though? Because
hold on.
I say it like this. I've seen people who are happily married for 20 plus years. People say that's healthy. I've also seen people in polyamorous relationships where they get along with everybody that's involved. That could be healthy. I've seen people that are with each other for like 30 plus years and decide they don't need to be married to that person. I think we have to be careful of what we think is healthy from our perspective. I think you can look at somebody's situation like, oh man, that looks great, but lo and behold, they wives is probably having entanglements with other dudes and stuff, you know. You never know. You know what I'm saying? They might have like an open relationship, and here we are here thinking that the relationship is fine and perfect and dandy, but they out here fucking Joe Blow and whoever else on the streets,
August.
you just never know. So I always try not to look at the other side of the fence. I try to focus on my grass. I personally, my mom raised me, and my sister's by herself. My dad that I've known my whole life, I found out that, was it 2 years ago, that wasn't really my dad. Shit's crazy, you know what I mean? But I look at other examples around me, right? So I observed my brothers and my dad and shit that they did, and I'm like, I won't do that. I always tell people there's no such thing as a good or a bad mentor. Everybody you can learn from, regardless of what it is. They can do something bad and you be like, got it, won't do that because I don't agree with that. I think what's considered healthy is what you feel in your heart to be right. And you try to mold yourself in your relationships around that. Like, it was funny how we was talking about the whole old school mentality. I know I'm old school. I'm 36, so I like to open doors. You know what I'm saying? I'll get the bill and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with that. If she says, "Hey, I got it this time," I'm cool with that too. I mean, that's new to me. I'm trying to see what that would be like. But at the same time, I've known that I will try to engage in a conversation, and women will be like, "Are you bugging me? Like you asking too many questions and shit like that." I'm like, it's like I'm just trying to get to know you, get to see if we compatible. I'm trying to find a life partner, and you over here on this BS. So to each his own. I think healthy can go between here and all the way over here. You know what I mean? So
question for the room.
Hold on, let me say something. So in my opinion, right, healthy is all about your individual thing, man. Whatever you got individually going on, to make that work for y'all, that works for y'all. That's the thing. When you try to compare your shit to everybody else's, and you think that somebody else's shit is going a certain kind of way, you think you're not doing certain kind of things, that might not work for you. You know what I'm saying? It's about building that relationship with the person that you're with. And it might be different with this girl, it might be different with that person, because everybody's different. Everybody's going through their own thing. You know what I mean? So, like, my mom always, I'm a mom's only child, and I grew up with just my mom. You know what I mean? My dad, you know what I mean, he was in New York and did a lot of time. So it was just me and my mom a lot. So for me, my mom always told me, that may look like they going good, but you don't know what's going on over there. So I always live my life that way, no matter what it is. Somebody may look like they got a lot of money and they got a big ass house, but they could be broke. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. So I never judge myself on anybody else, or even when it comes to relationships. So even when I move into a new relationship or I meet someone new, I use that as a new journey. I try to learn my lessons from things that I did wrong here and take on those type of things that I've learned to go into the next situation that I may get into. But I never sit there and say, like, this is going to be a perfect thing for anybody. Whatever works for you and the person that you with, that's perfect.
Claire, Andrew.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I feel about it, because it's just not the same for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not the same for everybody, in my opinion.
Yeah. Vaughn? Oh, Tom, let me get Vaughn first.
Yeah.
So, man, in my eyes, I ain't seen a healthy relationship since Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv. Like, so I grew up, I ain't had, in my eyes.
She switched me in season.
Hey. They did what they had to do to make it work. They did go make Uncle Phil happy, whether it's this Aunt Viv or that Aunt Viv. You know what I mean? But for real though, like I don't think in my eyes I haven't seen a healthy relationship, and I feel like to a certain aspect it kind of boils down to like this generational curse. If I look at my family, I always knew my parents fucked up. Like my dad was my mom's second marriage. First one didn't work out. He beat her. My dad didn't work out. He was a hoe. I just found out I got a brother 2 years older than me. Like when we was in Korea, my brother found me on Facebook. I met him for the first time like 4 years ago. So like that's what I had to look up to. And growing up, I thought, oh man, okay, at least my grandparents got it. They've been together for like 60 years. I'm trying to be like grandma and granddad. Grow up, I found out my granddad got a whole nother family, like 4 kids on my mom's side anyway. My dad's side grandparents.
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry to cut you off. Why the fuck you got a brick wall all of a sudden?
What? What you talking about?
You good? You good? Go ahead. Keep going, Vaughn.
Yeah. So what I thought was healthy growing up, my grandparents have been together forever. I grew up and I look back like, yo, I hear my mom talking about, yeah, such and such in this part of the family, and that part of the family. Mom, how many fucking parts is it? My granddad legit had like 4 or 5 kids by some other woman. Like legit, every other uncle or aunt I had, he had another kid by some lady in some other town. When you switch over to my dad's side, that granddad was a raging alcoholic and beat my grandmom. She stuck around because like, what else we gonna do? We out here in the country. He got the house. He paying for it. So I go up and I look back at all this stuff I thought was on point. I'm like, yo.
So let me ask you this question. What are you doing yourself to combat that? Now that you know all this stuff, like, do you feel like, yo, it's up to you to change it, or you just waiting on like?
I do feel like it's up to me because you seen me. I struggled with a little bit of all that going through Korea. Even like I call my dad a hoe. I'm going through divorce right now. My shit will be final in a couple months, hopefully. I fucked up. I drank a lot. I cheated. I did all this shit. I saw all these other men in my life do it. Damn, I shouldn't do that. I fucking did it anyway. But as I grow, like, bro, I'm like mid-30s now. I'm like, I ain't got time for this shit. I'm tired. And like at this point, kind of fairly newly single, kind of playing the field, but it's, at the same time, kind of looking for like, if I do get that one now, I feel like I'm at a point where I didn't have to be by myself for like a year and a half. I feel like I done did enough work on myself to where.
Here's the thing, though. You can't say I'm gonna be by myself and just go through a whole phase because every man.
Yes, you can.
I mean, you can.
Every man gotta go through a whole phase.
Look, when y'all go through the whole phase,
you need a whole phase. After divorce, you need a whole phase.
Because while you're going through the whole phase, I'm still looking. I'm not that running through it blindly. I'm still looking like if I find one.
So hold up.
I
so
like Shorty.
You going through the whole phase?
Test this one out.
Are you gonna tell Shorty you going through your whole phase?
No lie. Every chick I done kicked it with here, I don't let them know. I'm not trying to wife you right now. I just
man.
Here.
Honesty is always the best policy, bro.
I've been up
front.
You
be honest with somebody, you'd be amazing how far things go.
And I've been up front.
This is all I want. This is what I'm looking for. Either you with it or you not. It goes a long way. A long way.
Nigga,
and that's why I fucked up the first marriage. I was still hoeing, but I wasn't trying to tell her that because I'm like, I won't keep her. So now I'm like, I'm picking up shit a little slow. I'm picking it up. So now I know, like, I'm out here. I'm gonna let you know, hey, I'm out here. And if I actually feel something, let me ease up on the rest of this stuff going on, and let me focus on you. But I feel like I can at least identify that now. Like I can say like, I'm a bit of a hoe.
I got a question. I got a question. Well, 3 actually. So first of all, how long were you married?
I was married for 9 years.
And how long have you been going through the divorce?
Separated about a year and a half actually. So,
do you honestly think you can flush out 9 years of a life together and mourn those 9 years in a year?
Depends on how long the whole phase is.
It really does depend.
And like, secondly,
but which is why like I'm not saying like I'm looking for the one right now.
Secondly,
I'm in this whole phase, but if one do come across it, I feel like I can probably build something with this. I feel like I would be willing to, okay, let me ease up.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Does anybody in this forum believe in soul ties?
What's that?
Does anybody in the forum believe in soul ties?
Yeah.
A
while ago.
Yeah. So if you going through a divorce and you more than 9 years of a life together and you believe in soul ties, how can you possibly grow from the lessons that you're supposed to learn in this marriage that for whatever reason ended to be better for the next situation while you consistently building bodies? Like, how you gonna work for yourself when you adding more spiritual baggage to your journey.
So in my opinion, because I was married for 9 years too. You know what I mean? We got a divorce and everything, right? So in my opinion, I had to take a lot of time for but I probably was single for like 3 years before I did anything with anybody else. Well, like before I started getting a relationship. But it took a lot of time for me to figure out myself. Because once you in that relationship, it's like y'all two working together to do something, to try to make something happen. Your whole mindset is different. So when you start being alone by yourself, you got to find yourself again. At least I did. So I took a lot of time to figure out myself and what I needed to. And while I'm trying to find myself, I'm just honest with the person I'm trying to be with or try that I meet that, hey, I ain't even nowhere near where I need to be to even jump into something like this. Now, you can either, we can talk, we can do whatever or not. You know what I mean? That's why I say keep it honest. I'm just, because like for me to jump into a relationship 6 months after I got a divorce would have been terrible because it'd been like, you know what I mean? In my opinion, for me, it just wouldn't have been right for me. So it took me some time to get where I needed to be, achieve some of my goals, do the things I needed to do, and put myself in a level where I felt comfortable to bring somebody else into my life. You know what I mean? So once I exited that situation, it was so much that went on. I just needed some time to breathe. You know what I mean? It took a lot of time to breathe. There's a lot of stress, a lot of pain, a lot of everything that goes with that. You know what I mean? So I just had to kind of put myself in a different space, a different headspace to learn myself again, my independence, to understand what I'm looking for and what I want, not what I lust. You know what I'm saying? What I was lusting, but what I want and what I need. Once I figured that out, I started looking for that, and then I started shutting down on a lot of different things and really paying attention to the small things that females say, little things that I may like. You know what I mean? Just that type of stuff, and just recognize. And even doing that, you start to recognize a girl to say something so minor, and you be like, "Nah, that ain't even it." You know what I mean? And just move on to and just like, "Nah, I'm done." They're like, "Yo, what's going on?" I'm like, "Nah, it just ain't working for me." You know what I mean? You get to be selective on what you want and how you feel in your new position in life. That's at least that's how it was for me.
Yeah, I feel you. And what I think I messed up in when I initially got married, it wasn't on, hey, I love you so much, I want to be with you forever. It was on, yo, you pregnant, I'm going overseas, you still gotta have medical care for the kids. So it was more of like a situationship that I tried to force it to work. And I think that's where it just went completely wrong, which is why I'm going about it different. Yeah, I'm out here dating again, but I'm not trying to force my way into nothing. I'm being more upfront about where I'm at. Like I've let them know, like, hey, look, I'm fucked up. I got this going on. We can still kick it. And if you're down with that, cool, we'll kick it. But I feel like I'm in a different space, mentally anyway, and how I'm presenting myself.
I like how you said mentally, because physically you out here fucking.
That's all it is.
Yeah, I just feel like I feel like we give them that proposition, and they're never down for just your body, bro. Like, so I just feel like for me, man, when I was trying to get out the streets, man, it got to a point where I just decided to like be by myself, because being with, even if it's just like, hey, we just fucking or whatever, that shit just makes your journey longer, man. Because even if it is that, you still kind of deal with that pressure of like re-explaining yourself. Like, I told you this is what it was, and it just adds unlimited drama. And I feel like you just using other people to refine yourself until you right for the right one. And it's just, I just feel like you got to go through the hurt of being by yourself and finding yourself so you can present yourself to another situation. Like, the whole phase, man, it's fun, but when you look back on it, it ain't even worth it, man. Because it's like, I could have got to point B from point A way quicker without all this shit in the middle.
But that's the lesson you learn from that whole phase. And that's why I think every dude needs to go through that whole phase, because you don't appreciate the one you got until you go.
30s though?
You need to go. You need to go.
Yeah, I think there's a certain age cap on that one, though.
Hey,
No,
I didn't expect the whole phase 2.0. I didn't expect it. I got here and shit was falling out the sky.
So you done did this more than once. So hold up.
That's not a phase at that point. That's an addiction.
So this is my thing, man. If you just wasting people's time, man, that's something I'm big on, man. Like, you know, life too short to be out here, you know, wasting people's time and shit like that, man. So yeah, they always say that old school thing: the quickest way to get over somebody is get under somebody else, right? But I mean, real talk, like if you know what you want, like me in my almost 40s now, man, I know what I'm looking for. I know the types that I'm not gonna do. You know what I'm saying? But it just takes that maturity level. You go through the whole phase. I ain't saying go through the whole phase when you're 45, but everybody goes through at least one.
You hunt what you know how to catch. So
Put the fish rod into you real no, throw that one back.
Flip that. You see how that's approaching you.
That's a new one.
Yeah,
I like that one. I like
Hey,
that.
so
some of
I
us
got
almost,
this theory, right?
Some
And
of us, what's that?
Oh, right,
some people might agree with it. Some people might not.
You said theory or thickery?
Theory, right? So us as younger males, and I guess in Von's case, older males too, we it's like hunting, right? It's instinctual for us. People always like, well, why do men always want to have sex with multiple women or they pursue multiple women? Well, it's kind of like if you think of it in retrospect of hunting, right? Men hunt continuously, you know what I'm saying, for the thrill of the hunt, the thrill of the chase, until they find that big game that they finally capture, and then they no longer desire to hunt. You know, that's your trophy. It goes up on your mantle and it sits there. You're like, I'm done. I don't need to hunt anymore, right? But at what point do you really find that? And I feel like me at this stage of my life, I know exactly what I want, and I'm not going to settle for anything less than that, right? And it took for me being by myself, right? Like Nick was talking about, like I got so comfortable being by myself that when I did decide to start back dating, it was like, I don't know if I really want this shit. I was fine by myself, you know what I mean? I don't want to deal with this bullshit out here, but I feel like you gotta get yourself back out there once you're comfortable with yourself and you know what you're looking for.
All right, so I got one more question, then we're gonna go ahead and try to wrap this thing up. So we're talking about our whole phases and stuff like that. I'll just say whole phases are very interesting, out of the way.
Who ain't got no bitches?
I think mine is kind of like, you know how y'all comic book nerds, so y'all gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. You know how Sabretooth show up on Wolverine's birthday? That's my inner hoe just coming just like, yo. So, that's what it is. So, but hey, we'll get out to our last question. All right, last question. What are your toxic traits? And what are you doing to work on? I'll go first. I'll go ahead and volunteer my toxic traits because I'm probably the most toxic of the. I don't know. Vaughn, worried about you, brother.
I didn't want to say nothing, but I feel like Vaughn is the most toxic out of all of us.
Yeah, like I
was thinking the same thing.
No, I might be. I'll take that. I'm pretty fucked up, and I'll admit it. I don't went through
shit. I've been there.
I went through
it takes time.
Bro, when you said 2.0, I think that's sensitive right there.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll let you know. That's why I put it out there. I'm kind of fucked up right now. If you want to come over here, cool.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and say my toxic trait. My toxic trait is that I'm not consistent. I enjoy my alone time, and I hate explaining myself. And even though I'm good at, even though I have great communication skills, I honestly hate communicating. As crazy as that sounds. Like if I want to go dark, I'm gonna go dark. Like, yes, I'm gonna post. I'm not gonna respond to you. I'm gonna do all types of shit. So I know, and when I'm doing the work on it, Nico, shut up.
That's ballsy. That's ballsy to bring this up.
Cool. Anyway,
hey, we kind of deep into the episode. She probably ain't watching no more.
yeah. Thank God. Whew. If you're seeing this, what's that shit that Dr. Strange be doing? Forget. All right, so all right, Tommy, yeah. Like,
All right, fuck 'em up.
all right, Tommy. So, what are your toxic traits?
I'm trying to debate between trust and patience right now. Patience because I think I have patience for people and force me to repeat something that I think is not worthy of repeating. So dealing with other people's emotions. If I tell you once, hey, whenever, don't worry about XYZ, and then you come to me like, hey, are you sure you want to? Motherfucker, I told you. Like, I feel like I mean what I say and I say what I mean, but you coming back to me thinking I changed my mind, thinking I changed my tune, and I kind of snap a little bit. That's for patience. For trust, I always doubt that someone trusts me. And I think that's very toxic because I go out of my way to validate kind of the hypocritical shit about what I just said. I go out of my way to kind of ensure that I feel that you trust me.
Gotcha.
That kind of play into that predator stereotype that your unity gives you.
Predator, bro. That's what you gonna go with it.
Trust me.
Could have used a different word.
No,
Dead ass. No, let's hit it. Dead ass. I'll go to a unit. I'll be asked if I'm sleeping with Airman so and so, and I'm like, no, I'm not.
Damn.
Trust me.
Months later,
you fucking
up again. It's like, okay, now I feel like I have to go out and get in front of this.
And I'll fuck with him. I'm like, yup, sure am, and I'm fucking your wife too. I'm just, and I'm like, I'm just kidding. Just walk out laughing and shit.
All right, so Nico,
my toxic trait?
Yeah,
man. I would say just my heart not being soft. Like I can't speak on like the streets and all that because I'm in a relationship now, and I'm just like your relationship. Like if you trying to do this shit the right way, that shit will be like a mirror to you. Like it'll show you like the shit that you like fucking up on and the shit that you need to work on. Like I need communication, but at the same time, I don't like to communicate, if that makes sense. Like, I want shit explained to me,
but I don't want you to.
But I don't be really liking explaining shit myself. You know what I'm saying? Like my girl get mad as fuck because I'll be vague on some shit. I'm not trying to be vague because I'm fucking around and trying not to get caught. It's just like, it's easier for me to say it this way. Like, oh, I'm talking to my homeboy, you know? But if you tell me I'm talking to...
What are y'all talking about, Nick?
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, but if you did that shit to me, it's like, motherfucker, like, who the fuck is you talking
to? Where y'all going to eat? I don't know. We're still trying to figure that out.
That's the thing about me, man. Like, not being able to take the shit that I give. That's a better explanation about it, you know?
Okay.
Like, and I find myself having to work on that shit all the time, bro.
Gotcha. Okay.
My toxic trait is I don't think I'm toxic. So that's toxic.
So denial. He's in denial.
I don't know, man. I really don't know because I feel like sometimes, like, I just be chilling. You know what I mean? Like, I take some things seriously, some things I don't. I think my most toxic trait is I'm hard to read. You know what I mean? I'm very hard to read sometimes because I don't put myself out there until I really know. So I fall back and I just listen and just be like, oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds kind of weird, but I'm going to catch that later. You know what I mean? And everybody say it's cool, but it ain't because I'm trying to figure out what's really going on. I guess that's my toxic trait. I don't know. I feel like they think I don't give a fuck because I present that, but I might really do, but I just ain't presented it yet. So
they say I don't know who they are, but if you nonchalant, that's seen as being real toxic. I don't understand that.
Oh yeah, well then that's my toxic trait then, because I'm extremely non-fucking chalant.
So Dre,
thank you, Tracy Rutherford.
You can see the comments.
You said it before I could get it out, man. The nonchalantness. I guess that's my toxic trait, man. I don't like making big deals out of nothing, and I don't like getting overexcited. Like you can be all fussing at me about X, Y, and Z, and I just look at you like, what's the big deal? You know? So me and I don't care, whatever. And I think my other toxic trait is that I'm very straightforward. So I expect that in return, but people aren't always like that. You know, tell me what you want. Don't have me playing, Clue and shit, trying to figure out what's going on in your head. Like I'm not trying to find out who killed this person with candlestick. Like just tell me what you want. Yeah, just be direct with me because I want that back in return. And I think sometimes because I'm like that, I'll just kind of fade out, or I won't communicate at all, just because I know I have to go through hoops just to get to an answer. So,
gotcha. Right.
Oh man,
Yeah.
my toxic trait is I'm the smartest person in the room all the time, and y'all need to know it. So that probably that's get on my wife here. They get on my wife nerves.
Yes.
Yeah, that's usually my toxic trait. I'm the genius. You're not. You're gonna listen to me. I'm the husband. I'm the newly minute master sergeant. One of the good things is you got people you can talk to like Dre, who will let you know you're not the smartest person in the room sometimes. But that, and then I love to be comfortable, and I will fight and defend my comfort at all costs. If your plans get in the way of my comfort, again, you're being toxic to me. So I want to be comfortable.
So ultimately, you like Turner.
What's that?
This nigga said, you should just come on and say, I'm Ike Turner. I'm in control all the time. Like, if I ain't in control, and anime, I got the one tied up.
Eat the cake. Eat the cake, anime.
No, it's more like go to bed.
Everybody go to bed. This song, leave me alone.
I kill you.
I'll kill you. All right, Von, I'm gonna ask you. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be some shit. What is your toxic trait? Jesus Christ.
How many you want?
From Captain Planet?
How many you want?
The villain? Horace Greeley, nigga. That's him.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna nickname you the Toxic Crusader. Go ahead, go for it.
Shit. Well, one, I think I'm a control freak. If I ain't in control of some shit, let's say we in a group, and for some reason somebody else is put over whatever I'm in and not me. If shit go wrong, I tend to shut down. I might throw some input like, hey, I don't think this is a good idea. Hey, this probably ain't gonna work. You should try this. If I get shut down with my input, I'm done with the whole fucking project.
Fuck this shit.
I'm not saying, hey, listen to me, do what I say. But if you don't at least think about the shit that I'm bringing you,
that's exactly what you're saying, though.
That's essentially what you're saying, bro.
That's exactly what you're saying.
I'm saying, consider what I'm saying. If you ain't gonna consider, like, nah, I'm doing this anyway.
All right.
Okay. I can be inconsistent. I entertain a lot of shit I probably shouldn't, which is why I end up in a lot of situations I'm in. I'm working on that. Earlier, I'm being upfront, more straightforward about shit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bunch of shit. I'm gonna stop there. It's gonna get bad. Shit gonna get bad. I don't know who watching.
Hey man, I appreciate your open and honesty, man. It is what it is. You said you fucked up. You fucked up. It is what it is.
Hey man, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. So
Derek didn't get his toxic trait, did he?
Who? Drake? Oh yeah, Derek, go ahead. I think Drake gave his, did he? Derek,
I'm good.
I got a list. Nah, I got two, honestly, and I don't know if y'all can relate to this, but emotional insensitivity is one. I don't always put myself into other people's situation. Like you could tell me something specifically happened to you, and I'm gonna be like, Okay, so let's fix this shit. So I don't always put myself in the moment and really empathize with what they're going through. I'm more of straight, direct. Hey, let's try to work through this versus taking the time to let you run through your emotions. And I don't always display emotions, and people think that that's weird. Like I just recently went to my biological dad's funeral, and not one tear has been shed yet. And it's not that I don't care; it's just that I don't know how to process that stuff right away. Right.
Yes.
The second one is acting and speaking before I think about it. Right. So I've been in relationships where I will immediately say the first thing that comes to mind without really thinking about what I'm saying beforehand. And that has put me in situations where I can't recover from that. I can't come back from that. And I use this as a prime example. I was married before. A lot of people don't know this. We wasn't even married a full year, but I remember that my ex-wife had gotten into an argument with her dad, and he said she was a cancer to the family, right? So she's being told, she's telling me this, and we're in a heated argument, right? And you already know how this shit goes. We're both throwing things back and forth. We're both Leos. I'm extremely extrovert, so is she. She says some shit, and we trying to cut each other off. And I'm that type of person. In the past, I would say some shit just to get you to stop. And it came out. It was like, you know what? Your dad was right. You are a fucking cancer. And it's just like, damn. And it was like, I couldn't take that back because I didn't think about what I was saying and what the repercussions of it was going to be. But I would ultimately say that was what sparked our downfall. And it was the direct reason why we got a divorce.
Okay. All right, so we're going to get ready to log on out here. So if y'all got anything y'all want to plug, social media, TikTok, Snapchat, anything y'all want to plug, we're going to go in order. Tommy, you got anybody want to follow you on social media, anything going on? Any last words? What's up?
We need to start a book club or a reading list or some shit. I want to see what you guys are reading and share what I'm reading. No socials. I don't exist on socials in my head, so.
Dre?
Man, I don't really have anything, man. I have my socials, but just Dre Sky on Facebook. But yeah, just hit me up, man. I don't really have nothing to plug.
All right. Vaughn, go ahead. What's your Tinder profile? Go for it.
Probably best song put nothing else out there. I'm good. Good right now.
All right, okay.
Vaughn is Vaughn 2.0.
Yeah, Vaughn 2.0. All right, Rob, you got anything you want to plug?
I mean, just follow me on Facebook for all your Bama hate, and then I like Tommy. I'm interested in book clubs. I'm interested to hear what people read, and I do a lot of reading too. So,
all right, bet we'll get that going. All right, Kay.
All right,
Kay. I know you got hella shit going on. Go ahead.
Elite Boys K on everything. No AY. This is Elite Boys and then the K. I got 400 studios coming out in Savannah. Probably in April. Got a elite music group that I got going on, and about to start a clothing company coming out soon. So just keep your eyes out for all that.
Appreciate it. All right, D, what you got?
Shit, I already put my Instagram on there. Okay. Like I told you the other day, man. Eventually, I'm gonna get my podcast started up, but right now I gotta take a break. I got a deployment and shit going on. I'm not telling nobody my damn Facebook. I'm a ghost on there. That's for strictly close friends and family. So ain't nobody add me on there. But they really want to add me, I'll screen them on Instagram first, because motherfuckers love stealing photos and conning women out of their money.
All right, Nico.
Tinder swindler.
Yeah, Tinder swindler.
Bro, I get it all the time.
Nico.
As you can see, I've posted my podcast there in my name. So
why are you talking like that?
If you want to go have a swinging good time, swing by Apple Music and go to Intimate Revelations with the Deba Negro. Thank you guys for sharing your stories with me. I will take them with me wherever I go. And yeah, have a good night, ladies and gentle niggas.
All right, man. So this is episode 3 of the V.N.T podcast, also known as Various Negroes Talking. I'd like to thank all these various Negroes for talking. So I appreciate y'all, man. Just words of advice. It's okay to